Declan, can you help me monitor the chat as well? Just if somebody asks questions.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, all my beautiful people. I'll leave it later. All right, let me get my stuff situated here. I'm actually going to do a sort of an attendance. I'm just going to figure out who's here and who I need to track down as not getting this information. Declan. Jew family. Mhm. Who is AC17028? Who's that?
Emily Fayette. I'm on for Scott. This
Uh,
is Joseph's mom.
hello.
Hi.
Just got to make sure I know who's here. Um, sorry, just one more second here and then we'll get started here. I actually had to start this Zoom from my car just so that my experience in Zoom teaching was like, if you don't start the Zoom, nobody shows up. They're like, oh, he's not here. Let's just not go at all. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to put a link in the chat. That is the slide deck because I know seeing it on Zoom share is not always the clearest thing. So let me put that in there. Here it comes. Okay. So you can either follow along on the screen or you can see it yourself. And then you can feel free to like navigate or pause and look at things a little bit more in detail if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started. If you have any questions, that's what the end of the meeting is for. But by all means, throw it in the chat. And then if I see it, I will get to it. Okay, here we go. We got 42 days, y'all. 42 days. Hope you've started your countdowns. I don't know how many. Wait, I think it's 30. No, 26 days of actual school left. But who's counting, right? Um, everything is in this slide deck. So like I said, you all have access to it. If I highlight it in yellow, that is particularly important. And I tried not to highlight too many things because I wanted the important things to stay special and important. But I did say if you see stuff and highlighted in yellow, please read it in a Doko is serious voice. If you click here, it just takes you to the latest version of the itinerary, but I'm not going to do that right now. Here's all our flight details. There's 3 of you that are not flying with us that are meeting us at the hotel. So we've talked about that separately. But there's all our flight information. Most important thing on this slide is that call time is 1:40 to LAX. I know that's significantly more than 3 hours ahead of time, but because we are a group, we just have to have a little extra time in case there's issues. It also gives us time to hopefully do some seat adjusting if necessary. Yeah, call time is 1:40 p.m. on June 20th to LAX. Transportation to the airport's on your own. I think I've said that before, but there you go. And then where are they? Here they are. They are not with me, but ACIS sent me some luggage tags. They're these like I think they're green this year. There's these bright. You don't have to use them. It just does make it easier when we get there. Me and a couple people can just go, hey, let's get all the luggage with green tags. So it's just a free thing. Don't have to use it, but I will have those available at the airport since we're not seeing each other before then. Okay, moving on. I'm going to try and get you guys out of here quick. Here's our hotels. Hyperlinked are all the websites for those hotels. So if you want to look at them a little bit or, see what they look like, by all means, there's the addresses. You're also going to get a little red emergency card so that if something happens and you get separated from the group, and let's just say you lost your phone, you lost your passport, you lost your wallet, hopefully you've kept this somewhere separate, and at least you can get yourself back to the hotel, and then we can figure out what to do from there. But those are your hotels. They're all booked. These are the rooming assignments. I went off of the few requests that I got and then just kind of what made sense. So this will be the same assignment for all hotels unless something comes up. Like if somebody, I don't know, sometimes we have people like, hey, there's four of us, we're besties, and we just want to switch. Some people are like, I hate my roommate. We'll do what we can. But that is the rooming assignment as we have it now. If you see any issues here, please do email me separately and we'll try and figure it out. I'm going to kind of go fast. I know you haven't read this all, but like I said, you have the slide deck and you can see this on your own. If you just joined us late, I'm going to put it in the chat again because you won't see what we went through already. Okay, so here's a real quick itinerary review. Our tour manager is actually Ian Graham. Those of you that traveled with us in 2022, or if anybody here goes back to 18, it's the same manager we've had for a few tours now, and I've requested Ian because he's really great with kind of our dynamic. So I've made a request for him, and we got him. I'm sure you'll love him. Just a fair warning now, he has a really dad sense of humor, so just brace yourself for some really terrible jokes. They're just really punny, and the setup's never worth the. Just I'm warning you now. So here's the real quick, too long, didn't read version. June 20th is our departure day. We arrive to Munich. We have a little orientation walking around, and then we have a dinner. The 22nd, we go to the Dachau concentration camp. We see Neuschwanstein Castle, and then we have dinner at the Hofbrauhaus. June 23rd, we drive to Salzburg. We do the Hohensalzburg while we're there, and then we have dinner there. 24th is the biggest change from last time we met back in whatever that was, November. But we've kind of changed a few things. We've added the Eagle's Nest. Um, the hike is now in Berchtesgaden National Park. It was supposed to be in Austria, but now it's going to be in the German side of that border. We're going to do a little alpine swimming and then dinner's back in Salzburg. One quick thing about that, some of you do have some outstanding balances just because if you saw my email, we tacked on the Eagle's Nest. I think it's like a $32 difference. I'm going to send an email at the end of this. So if you don't know if it's you, I will let you know. I think it's only like 6 or 7 of us that haven't taken care of that last balance. I think everybody else is paid in full. June 25th is a full day trip to Hallstatt. June 26th and on, nothing has changed. So I'll kind of breeze through that, but that's all the same. Okay, let's get to some nitty gritty stuff. This is like the practical, how we're going to make this tour awesome. Okay, first practical thing is how we handle things on the bus. The seat you pick on arrival day will be the same seat you keep throughout the tour. No changing of seats, please. We sometimes have problems where like someone gets used to their seat and they've been in that seat for 3 days and then someone decides to switch seats and then it just causes this cascade of problems because nobody's in the right seat. So please just pick your seat the first day and stick with that seat for the rest of the tour. The good news is we're a smaller group of 27, you'll see here, and bus capacity is usually like 40 to 50. So we should have plenty of space, but even still, please don't change seats. It just creates headaches and please, 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 please do that. If you are noisy, looking at some of you teenagers, and you want to be chatty, that's cool. But can you go to the back so that those of us that want to have like civilized conversation or maybe even sleep, we can not be disturbed by your chaos. Okay. So all you noisy people, I won't single any of you out right now, but I think you know who you are. Go to the back, please. The other thing that is pretty important to me is that when you hear announcements over the PA, please pause your talking. Even if you don't care, the person next to you might. So please just be courteous to that. Here's some other things. Just don't leave valuables on the bus. You can leave things, but I always suggest don't leave cameras, don't leave jewelry, don't leave anything of value just because things can happen. The only time we've ever had something is an overnight issue. Someone left a camera on the bus overnight, and when the bus went to go get parked, it got broken into. During the daytime, the bus driver is usually with the bus the whole time. But still, I just say leave backpacks, sure, clothes, sweatshirts, maybe even souvenirs are okay. But if you've got valuables like phones or cameras, please take those with you. There will probably be a toilet on the bus, but every driver has their own policy. Most drivers ask us to only use the restroom in an emergency, but some are also like, oh, no, use it whenever. But my experience has been most drivers don't want you to use it, mostly because they have to clean it. They got to drive to a dump station, wash it out, and they got to do all that stuff. So we'll just see how that goes. Please keep our bus clean. If the driver allows us to eat and drink, please be sure to clean up any trash or mess you make. And then, just as a courtesy, please remember to greet your driver whenever you board and to say thanks whenever they drop us off. It's kind of easy to just see them as, oh, that's just my driver, and they just take us places. But just show your gratitude and be courteous. In the hotels, here's two important things on this slide. I never want to hear from hotel management that my group is being loud or disruptive. That's just like that just enrages me just because I don't want to be that kind of traveler. That just adds to the notion that Americans are ugly travelers. So if you cause a ruckus and I find out about it, you will be punished. Also know this, just because you're in your hotel room doesn't mean you can be loud. Even with the best of walls, your neighbors will hear you. So please be respectful to other hotel guests. If you've never been to Europe, prepare for hotel rooms to be smaller than what we have here in the States, sometimes much more so. Smaller bathrooms, smaller elevators. So consider this when packing. Here's an important one. This is actually part of the contract that all of you signed. If you are found out of your assigned room after lights out, you will be sent home on first offense. No warnings. No warnings. I'm going to be honest with you. This usually is an issue because I'm usually fighting you to go out and do stuff. Like most times on tours, kids are saying, I'm tired. Can I just go to my room and sleep? It's like, no, man, we paid all this money. We're going to maximize our experience and go out and do stuff. So I'll keep you busy. I promise you won't be bored. But just know that this is part of the behavior contract that you signed. I know some of you might be asking, well, I'm an adult, dudes. Does this apply to me? And the answer is no, it does not. You adults get to do whatever you want. The one thing that we have to negotiate on a sort of case by case basis is like, say I have my daughter on the trip with me. Can two of us go out later at night? That's something we'll have to talk about on a case by case basis. Yep, looking at you, Aki. um, please be considerate with bathroom usage. Some of you have never had to share a bathroom, and suddenly you'll be sharing a bathroom. So please be considerate. If you normally take like 10,000-hour showers, you're going to have to change that. Use hotel phones only when necessary, and please remain reachable by me. Sometimes stuff will come up, or I'll need to whatever, reach out. It'd be awesome just to be able to call you on the phone, the hotel phone, and get to you instead of getting a busy signal because you're talking to another room. This one's really important, really important. This might be like one of the most important like getting you sent home things. Punctuality. We have a mantra. Those of you that have toured with me before know this. 3 minutes early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable. That means if we make a call time 12 o'clock, noon, we're going to meet here. I would love to see everybody at 11:57, and I definitely don't want to see anybody past 12. The whole reason being is this is a unit, and we can only be as efficient as, our slowest person. If one person's late, we're all late. So please be punctual to all call times. Your roommate is your responsibility. If they're late, so are you. So don't just come downstairs and be on time. We're like, oh, they're still upstairs. You have to help us keep everybody on time with that. Adults, this applies to you too. The only difference is that adults, we may leave you behind. So if you're not there and you're holding us up, I trust adults, you know how to get yourselves around, but same rules apply. We need everybody to be on time. Every room will have a buddy room. Just make sure that when you come down to breakfast, is my buddy room here? Great. Because sometimes, both roommates sleep in, like Declan and roommate might just sleep past their alarms, but if there's that extra layer of accountability, we have a better chance of not having to, kick your door down. Reminder, alcohol restriction applies to class of 2024 and younger. We've gone over that. And then small detail, if you're using your phones, just keep them charged. I know you're used to having places to plug in all over the place, but we'll be on the move and you will not have that luxury. So please keep your phones charged, especially if you're using them for maps or that's your only clock. Please keep them charged. Suggestions from me. You don't have to obey any of this, but in my experience, this has made the experience a little bit better. Pack light. We're moving into 4 different hotels total. I don't know if you've really thought about it, but you're unpacking and packing. So the less stuff you have, it really is the better. Hotel rooms generally are smaller too, so you might not have the room to open 2 massive suitcases, right? So something to consider. Also, coordinate with your roommate as far as who's bringing what. There's no need for like 2 hair dryers or 2 flat irons. If you can share those things, that might be helpful. Electronics. There's an article here that's hyperlinked, so check that out on your own time. But it's really important. If you've never traveled abroad, check your voltages. Otherwise, you can fry your devices. Like literally, they will burn, there will be smoke, and it will not work anymore. Most of our devices that are like iPhones, computer chargers, or iPad chargers, camera chargers, most of those work on what we call world voltage. But just like I said, click that article and make sure your stuff works internationally. At minimum, you're going to need a plug adapter. but you also might need a transformer. This is all talked about in that article. Or you can just ask me if you're not sure. I also have this for every tour we do. I have this Amazon list that just kind of has some basics. Like there's some European style plugs in there. There's some luggage suggestions. So if you want to have a look on that, that'll kind of give you an idea of what kind of things we're looking at. More unpacking. I like to suggest that you put liquids in a large Ziploc bag just in case it opens in your suitcase. You don't have everything covered in shampoo or lotion. Um, Comfortable broken in shoes only. I almost put this in yellow, but ultimately it's your feet, which is not my problem. But don't bring brand new shoes, okay? Because we're walking a lot, a lot. So I think the most we ever walked in one day was something between, I can't remember because everyone had different reports, but some people said we did 7 miles and some people said we did 11 miles. It doesn't feel like it because we're seeing cool stuff and it's broken up. But if you're wearing brand new shoes, that'll probably hurt. So please, no brand new shoes. Another tip in general, you'll notice that Europeans are dressed a little bit more formally. To many Europeans, sandals are for the beach and tank tops are for the gym. Like you just won't see them. But here in California, kind of anything goes. But just, I'll talk a little bit more about this later. Airlines lose bags all the time. Sal, if you're here in the chat, he had his bag lost. How long was it lost, Sal? Do you remember? I don't remember if he even got it back. I think his bag maybe came at the end.
It was like a month later.
Oh my. So Sal's last tour in 2022, he didn't see his bag for the entire trip, and I guess he saw it in a month. So
Sure.
I always suggest it's not a bad idea to put a change of clothes in your carry-on bag, and maybe the critical things like chargers or cameras, don't put those in your check bag. If it's something that would really ruin your trip, put it in your carry-on, your backpack, or whatever. Because let's face it, clothes you could probably buy, and if they do lose your bag, just know that airlines do give you some credit, but you don't want to be without like a camera or a phone. So keep the important things in your checked in. Just little reminders. These are not my rules. These are all FAA rules. No batteries in your check bags. Any kind of like if you have like power banks for your phones, those should always be in your carry-on, not in your checked bag. Speaking of the FAA, I hope we're all old enough to understand this, but please don't make any jokes about bombs or terrorists or anything like that. Even if you're joking and everyone's ha ha ha, airport security does not mess around at all with that. So please, 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 just no jokes about that kind of stuff. Here's a sample packing list. The two things that I put in yellow are your passport. I hope that goes without saying you need your passport. And then the other thing is a watch. I think most of us are used to just using kind of your phone as your timekeeping device, but I strongly suggest you have a regular watch. Even if you just bought like a cheap $10 watch. My wife is staring at me like a creep over here. Leave me alone. Yeah, having just a regular watch will help you stay on time. And every morning we'll just say, hey, it's this time. Make sure your watch says that time. All the other things here, just suggestions. You don't have to bring any of this. Like if you just want to buy a brand new wardrobe when you get there, be my guest. But here are some guidelines of what you might want to pack. I'm not going to read every single one of them because you have access to this. Yes. Okay. Here's what not to bring. Like I said, new shoes. Hold on, I've got to deal with the son who's going to a Boy Scout meeting. Busy times over here. Okay, no new shoes. Please avoid new shoes. Don't bring expensive jewelry or other valuables. I know some of you have like, well, I've never taken off this necklace. My Nana gave it to me and it's never come off of my body. Well, if it's something that would pain you to lose, leave it at home. Just be okay without it for 10 days. Try to avoid bringing too many clothes. If you're those people that pack your clothes based on mood. Just choose happy clothes. Just choose to be happy the entire trip. Don't bring sad clothes. Don't bring moody clothes. Don't bring I'm angsty clothes. Just bring all happy clothes. Narcotics, weapons, anything of the sort. Please don't bring those. CBD laws vary country to country, so it's best to leave those products at home. If that's something that's a necessity for you, then I strongly suggest you do your own homework on that. But I'm just going to say, if it's not critical, leave it at home. Leave the drama at home too, please. Please, let's just all pretend to like each other for 10 days. That's my hope and wish for all of us. Out of respect for local cultural norms, this is more about clothing, please consider refraining from wearing the following in public. Sports bras, bralettes, bandos as your only top. I know, you see that all the time on Poly campus or just walking around California, but culturally, it's very not okay out there. So if that's what you were planning on doing because it's comfortable, or just yoga pants or super short shorts, just know you might get looked at a little bit weird because culturally that's not the norm out there. There's a funny story about this expat from America. He moved to France and he said, "You know how I knew I was a Parisian? When I took a shower, shaved, and put on a dress shirt just to take out the trash on a Sunday." That's how they are. They don't just go out in their pajamas to do something. If I'm going to be in public, I'm going to look put together. So you'll probably notice that. And just so you don't feel uncomfortable and we're not unintentionally offending anybody, just a suggestion. It's ultimately up to you. I won't stop you, but there's definitely different concept of casual wear abroad. Okay, just a real quick thing about traveling with friends. It's we're gonna be on a bus. We're gonna be all in the same restaurant, all in the same hotel, going through the same tours. It can stress even the best of friendships. Mark Twain has this quote. It's like, if you're not sure if someone's your friend or enemy, go on a vacation with them, something to that effect. So I just put some things here. Be patient, particularly with being in close contact. Share. Some of you, like I said, have never had to share a bathroom or bedroom. Learn to kind of be considerate, maybe shorten your showers. Set expectations. This is a smaller group, so I don't think we'll encounter this, but it's totally okay if like Declan's best friends with so and so and he wants to do something else on this given day during free time. Don't read into that. It's not that they don't hate you, it's just that they want to go do something else. I put here, it's not personal. Your friend still loves you. Maybe. And then I said, fix it. If there is drama and someone fights or argues about something, you can involve me, but just let's fix it so that this awesome experience isn't muddled by just grumbling about so and so said something to me at breakfast. Just let's deal with it and let's have a great time. Safety. Generally speaking, travel in Europe is very, very safe. Violent crime against tourists is rare, but pickpocketing is extremely common. Remain vigilant and don't let your guard down even for a moment. Remember, pickpocketing is a profession. No kidding, it's a profession. That's how some people make their living, and thieves are really good at it. Here's some real world statistics: about 400,000 pickpocket crimes happen daily in the world, 600,000 victims of pickpocketing in the UK each year. And 1 in 4 tourists in Barcelona is pickpocketed. 1 in 4. Barcelona is the pickpocket capital of the world, according to this one travel website I saw. I can attest to that because when we went to Barcelona in 2008, we had 3 instances of pickpocketing. And this is after me just ranting and telling everybody to be on their guard. They're really good. They wait till the perfect moment and they'll take you. Um, the following are some precautions for protecting not just yourself, but our group as a whole. If I've included a city in a year, those are times it's happened to someone in our group. I'm not going to read all of these, but there's 2 slides that I'll let you read when you look at the slide on your own. These are all things that have happened. I'll just pick out some of my favorites. One was in Italy. We landed. The day we landed, one of the moms had all of her cash stolen because she just left it in an envelope right here, looked away for like 2 seconds, and then when she looked back, it was gone. Um, I had a girl in Salzburg who actually lost her bag twice. Same girl, twice. She got her bag stolen because she left it in a dressing room. She went out to the store to get a different size, came back, her bag was gone. We found her bag the cops found her bag in the trash. They took all of her money but left her passport, which, if all of you adults know, that's a big headache saved. But then she left her bag again at another place so she could roll down a grassy hill with her friends. So I took her bag and I just took it on the bus and I just saw her waiting. She's just, Doku's going to kill me. I could just read her body language. Yes, my son. Yes. So yeah, I'll let you read that, but there's a lot of things. And if you look at them, every single one of them is because somebody let their guard down. None of these have to do with violent crime. Bye, son. I love you. Yeah, they're all opportunistic. Just don't let it happen to you. You might see me walking down the street flailing my arms. If you act like a crazy person, they're probably not going to mess with you because you're already attracting too much attention. So sometimes I'll just walk down the street swinging my arms. You ain't stealing from me. Um, all of these, like I said, you can there's like see Florence in 2004, Rome in 2010. Things have happened, all preventable. In the highly unlikely situation of being in a dangerous situation with an aggressive thief, please ditch everything of value. Just get out of that situation. Things are replaceable, but you are not. Yeah, that's good. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yes. So lots of fun slash Yes, I'm telling you all these to scare you into being safe. So please be safe. Health. We're going to be super active, walking several miles a day, and in general, staying on the move. Please don't skip meals. Some of you might say, oh, I never eat breakfast, but I suggest taking advantage of the included breakfasts, if for no reason, that they're included, free, and it might let you save some time and money on a lighter lunch. I go hard at breakfast. I eat a massive breakfast. So basically, I don't really need lunch because that saves me money, saves me time because I don't need to really, I can maybe pick up a snack and eat it out of the way, but I don't need a big full meal. So kind of strategic for that too. But again, for those of you that don't eat breakfasts, please consider eating breakfast just because we are that active. If you require medical attention, please see me. If something is more urgent, please by all means take care of what you need to take care of. Don't come find me first and then tell me later. Daily procedures. Here's kind of some nitty gritty here. This is optional, joining that remind, but I started doing this on a couple Europe trips ago. I will post nightly a picture of the next day's itinerary. And then if there's ever announcements or anything like that, or sometimes the tour manager will say something over the microphones that's cool, or like, hey, we're going to this city, check this place. Some of you might be like, what was that place he told us about? I'll put that into the Remind app. So if you want to hop onto that Remind app and just be accessible, that is optional. But like I said, if you're not taking, if you're not planning on using a phone or whatever out there, then don't sweat it. But every single hotel we're at has free Wi-Fi. I did look into that, so at the very least, you can download that. I saw that fist pump, Declan. Yep. I actually went in and checked each hotel. They all have free Wi-Fi. Excuse me, just 1 second. Mama, they're in the center console. Yeah, of my car, my truck. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, curfew is announced nightly and it changes. Sometimes curfew's early because we got to get up early. Sometimes curfew's super late because either we can sleep in or we can sleep on the bus. It just changes. It's variable. It depends on the day's activities and how early we need to be up the next day. Free time will always conclude at an assigned meeting point. For those of you using smartphones, it's a good idea to drop a pin at those meeting points. If you're not sure how to do that, totally happy to show you. Here's a rule, and it's actually changed. Those of you with me on my last tour, the number has decreased. We used to require you to be in groups of 4, but now we're just saying 3. Groups of 3. We should never see anybody walking around by themselves unless you're an adult. That's cool. But no students should be walking around by themselves. No students should be just 2. I'd like you in groups of 3. If you're with an adult, say Aki and mom, that is acceptable. The concept being if something happens, we just have strength in numbers. Okay. Speaking of free time, this is a link to a separate document that kind of has ideas for each city, what you might want to do in free time. But also know this, that in every city we go to, your tour manager is going to give you a real, how do we say, like a sampling of what you could do, because they're going to know it a whole lot better than I am. Color groups. Color groups, we'll talk about this in 5 seconds, but the leaders of said color groups, you have literally one job. I promise you, this is not a bait and switch. I'm not going to ask you to sit in a hallway and watch students or do anything. All I'm asking you to do is to show me a thumbs up when we have meeting times. Okay? So check out what group you're in. Remember your color. You just have to remember your color. The numbers don't mean anything except on my end. So just remember your color. If you're gold, blue, red, green, you'll see my name under Declan is sort of enjoying being my boss. But I'm just in parentheses because I have to plug myself in somewhere when we do tours. And most times when we do tours, they don't want us all going in as this big mob. They like to break us up into smaller groups. So that's where this will come into play. So I'll just look for 4 thumbs up at every meeting point, and the second I see 4 thumbs up, we get out of there. That is your only job. I promise you. All discipline, if needed, will come from me. Any sort of chaperoning duties, that will be me. All of that will be on me. I promise. Cultural differences, things that we might not think about if you've never been out of the country. It is considered rude not to greet a shop owner when you enter or say thank you when leaving. It doesn't matter if you buy anything, you're still supposed to say hello and you're still supposed to say thank you. That's just a cultural thing out there. True, most people will speak English, but it will serve you well to at least learn a few phrases in the local tongue. And your tour manager and our local guides will teach you some phrases. But I think one of the most assured ways to get a negative interaction with the local is just to start off in English. Like to grab something off the rack and go, yo, how much is this? I can almost guarantee you they're not going to be nice to you because they just get that all the time. Tipping is usually included. That's a big difference too. It is usually included, and and you also almost have to ask for the check. In a lot of European cultures, you know how here in the States they'll just go, "Honey, I'm just going to leave this here when you're ready. Whenever you're ready, no rush." We've all heard a waiter do that, but in Europe, they interpret that as you need to get out of my restaurant. So if they put the check down before you ask for it, most locals will be like, "Excuse me, I'm not ready to leave." So that's a big cultural difference. Because I've had kids go, Doko, I'm sorry we're late, but it took forever because they wouldn't give us the check. It's like, did you ask for it? No. Well, there's the cultural difference. Don't expect, that's a typo. Don't expected, that's good English. Don't expect sit down meals to be as quick as you might experience here. Generally speaking, food itself is a totally different cultural thing. That is a time for people to connect, for people to catch up with each other. Whereas for us, it's kind of a commodity. We just kind of eat and get it over with and move on with our days. But if you do choose to sit down for lunch with your friends, just know that it's probably going to take a little bit longer than what you might expect here. Public restrooms are often not free. That's also a big difference. So I usually suggest having 50 euro cents or a euro coin just in your pocket just to be able to use public restrooms. Okay. A big part of the experience should be experiencing the local customs. So please allow yourself to experience things as the locals do. I like this quote here by James Michener. If you reject the food, ignore the customs, fear the religion, and avoid the people, you might better stay at home. So just accept the fact that we're going to feel like foreigners, and that's okay. But really just kind of observe everything. And if you're really paying attention, you'll notice everybody in the world is the same. Everybody pays taxes, everybody goes to work, everyone saves up money to send their kids to college. Students all, study for the same things. But yeah, please just be receptive to how that's going to go. Here's a bunch of questions that I have gotten often. Are we allowed to use public transportation? Yes, but it's no excuse to be late. In the cities where that is an option, we'll probably give you like a little primer, a little coaching of how to use it. Does Uber work over there? From what I can tell, Uber works in all the cities we're going to be in, but just realize that Ubers aren't always the quickest because of traffic. So if you're like, oh, shoot, we're late, let's just call an Uber, that actually might be slower than just kind of briskly walking back to the meeting point. What money do I need? You need two different currencies. You need the euro to use in Germany and Austria. And then while we're in the Czech Republic, you will need the Czech crown, also known as the koruna. Emily asked me, is German the primary language we should learn? You'll need German for Germany and Austria. They both speak, with small differences, they both speak German. And then Czech will be what's spoken in the Czech Republic. So you'll get a little bit of two languages. Does everybody accept credit now? The answer is yes and no. Most stores will accept credit. A lot of taxi cabs actually take credit now too. But some of the smaller, like street vendors, don't. So always a good idea to have maybe a little bit of cash. How much cash do I need? Speaking of which, that really depends. I am a big advocate for paying credit card as much as possible, primarily because you don't have to worry about running out of it necessarily. Most banks will give you the exchange rate of the day. Most banks will not charge you a foreign transaction fee. And you don't have to worry about, well, what if I have leftover euros at the end? Because if you're just using a credit card, you don't have that to worry about. That said, I do say, somewhere, I don't know, a handful of euros? Like, what would you keep in your wallet? I guess that's a bad example because even in America, we don't carry cash. But it's kind of hard to answer because it just depends on how much buying and things like that you plan on doing. For me, I usually have maybe 50 to 100 euros or whatever the local currency is, like the equivalent of 50 to $100, just in cash, just to deal with the smaller things. You can also use ATMs out there, and there's usually not a massive fee. Usually it's like a $2 fee to use a foreign ATM. But yeah, that's kind of a hard question for me to ask because it really depends on how you want to do things. Can I use my cell phone there? Most carriers offer a $10 per day international service. I'm with Verizon, and anytime I'm on an international trip, I just do the $10 a day. There's also a monthly plan, but we're not gone that long. You can alternatively buy a SIM card, which is the cheapest option because you can buy like enough data and voice to last you the full 10 days for like maybe 40 euros, I think is what they are. But it does involve swapping SIM cards, and then you'll lose your own phone number if people are trying to call you. It can get a little confusing, but that's kind of up to you, however you want to do that. Or you could just be like, you know what? I am unreachable, y'all. I'm not doing my roaming. When I get to the hotel, I'll check my email or send messages to mom and dad. You will have that access too. So that's up to you. As I mentioned before, yes, all the hotels advertise free Wi-Fi. Do I need any special visas or special passport docs? Nope. Everybody going on this trip is a U.S. citizen, so we don't have that to worry about. Proof of vaccination is no longer required from anybody. Obviously, that could change at a moment's notice. Who knows? But as far as we know now, there are no requirements for that. If you have not been receiving emails, I need to know about it tonight so I can figure out why. I know that a couple of my messages went to spam, and I think it might have been because I was trying to BCC everybody. Now I'm just sending it out in the open CC. That's my email. If you have any questions, that concludes all the information I need to. Please, at some point between now and departure day, go through this again, and particularly go find all the yellow highlighted things and make sure that you're up to speed. But we are in crunch time, y'all. We get to go pretty dang soon here. We just got to get through this little annoying thing called school. We just got to knock that thing out of the way, and then I'm really looking forward to going with you. I think mostly because it's a smaller group. Smaller groups are always so much more enjoyable for me. Last trip was 122 people, which just I don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot. I just remember being angry, stressed, and sick with COVID. Those are kind of my lasting impressions of that trip because it was 120 something people. 27 will be an absolute joy. It'll be a dream. If you have questions, like I said, there's my email. I'm going to stay here in the Zoom for a little bit, but other than that, I'm going to formally conclude. So thanks for coming. I'm going to stick around for some questions.
Where are the slides?
Let me put that in the chat here. Right there. Nope, that did not go to you. There we go. In the chat. It's also on polychoir.com.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Any other questions? I know some of you might be just reading through it and kind of catching up. Everybody knows everything? Everybody's ready to go?
Yep. We've got a little hang up on the last night.
What's up?
We have to catch a train to the Netherlands. We took the latest one we possibly could, but it's going to interfere with dinner.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, as long as you know what's up, that's
Yeah.
that's no skin off our back.
We tried to book a later travel, but there wasn't one.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes.
At least not from Prague.
All good. Any other questions? Anything at all? No? Everyone feels ready? Just counting down the days, right? Well, you all have my email. You all have access to the slide deck. It'll stay online. You are very welcome, Mr. Peter. I might be sending out a few emails, just kind of informational to kind of get us hyped up and ready, but I'll see you at the airport in about a month. Good night, all.